In this part, you're going to want to take the cardboard tube and make small cuts, only about a half an inch to an inch long, all the way around one end. I'm making mine a little bit smaller, but you can make them wider or thinner. It's up to you. It doesn't matter how many. Once you get done cutting, you're going to want to flatten the end like a flower. So you're going to want to bend those little pieces out and make them all flat. Feel free to make cuts on both ends of your cardboard tube. It's a good way to make use of one tube. I cut about 3 or 4 of them, using them all in my examples. In this part, I'm just going to add some paint to my plate. You can choose any colors you want. I'm using acrylic because that's all I had at home, but you can use watercolor or tempera paint, anything you can find at your house. So I'm going to add a few little dots. I noticed here that I needed to add more, and I add more at the end, but you might want to do a little more than I'm showing you. Okay, so now I'm going to take my paper tube and I'm going to mix it around in this paint and get all those little pieces that I cut filled with paint. So you're going to use this as kind of like a stamper on your paper. So I'm going to make 3 or 4, and it's not going to show up too bright yet, and you're going to have to do it a couple times to make it show up really dark. I'm going to mix with the yellow and do that color. You can even mix it in with the orange. It'll just mix together. Make sure you have lots of paint on those ends of those little cuts. So you can keep going over the part that you've already painted. Just mix it in the paint a little bit longer, and you can mix colors. Don't mix too many colors or you'll start to get kind of a brown color, but you want to stick to that same color scheme. In this part, see, I'm going to use my paper tube that I cut the sections a little bit wider, and I'm going to mix it into the blue paint. I end up adding more blue paint because I couldn't get enough on the edge. So you can add as much paint as you need. So I'm going to keep scraping at my paper, and then I'm going to add a couple more of these to my paper flowers. See, and I didn't get very much paint on that one, so I'm going to add some more paint and do it again. Now I'm going to use crayons, and I'm just going to make the stems of my flowers with one straight line. So these are kind of like dandelions, but I just use different colors. So I'm going to make one line for each flower. Notice that the one goes behind one flower. Finally, I'm going to just take a few colors, and I'm going to make the center of my flowers. Just color them in a little bit. I'm not going to go too crazy. And then I'm going to use my orange and my yellow and my blue just to fill in that part that didn't get filled in with the paint.